Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. How much silver will be delivered to the Comex in September? Let's explore! Yes, Bama17NC sent this along to me, and I typically am a little bit wary of stories coming from companies whose blogs are published there that sell gold, silver, and platinum because they typically have a pretty big bias. But this is something that I've covered in the past in terms of some gold Comex deliverables, and I know there's a lot of information out there. We did a little pretty big deep dive in that previous video, and but there is still some questions, obviously, that are arise from it. Data can be tweaked many different ways, but nonetheless, one thing we know for sure is there is unprecedented demand for the precious metals. But I'm going to talk a little bit about this and kind of review this through, but we're going to look at through the window of only the time that they've give us, because what's missing is the previous times when there's been this kind of demand for the precious metals. This is a different world we're living in, though, now with the coronavirus and other things that are affecting not only the supply chains, but also the markets and the prices for gold and silver. So here we go. As the delivery month of September nears for Comex silver, let's take a look at where we stand and review what it means. It's a topic that was covered, and by the way, this is by Craig Hemke, in 2020 at Sprott Money. He's written several articles detailing the breakdown of confidence at Comex in late March and the lasting impact that has followed. And so he does talk about it. In fact, you see this previous article, he outlines the delivery times and how much was delivered there, especially in June. It was crazy. And they're taking place through the Comex June 20th futures contracts. And he says, remember, that new contract mentioned above, the one that purposed to deliver fractional ownership certificates in London bars. The total amount of June 20 deliveries for this contract was 8. Not 8,000 or even 800, just 8. It appears that all the global gold market immediately recognized this new contract for what it was. So that's just another sense of how these numbers and fact-checking this stuff would take quite a bit of work getting into and making sense of some of that raw data out there. There's probably a lot of things in there we really don't see, and I think in some ways we have to take some of this for a grain of salt because of how the numbers can be manipulated either purposely or unknowingly, not understanding exactly how some of these data work derived. But nonetheless, the author here does say that they obviously have to have some deliveries so that they can fulfill some of these transactions, so they can deliver, so that they or else you're just trading baseball cards essentially. And that is very true, because we all know, for a matter of fact, that there's way more paper than there is the physical to back it up, which is why some people think that a gold standard may not make sense, because, yeah, you have gold to back it up, but how many people are going to test that or are going to cash out for gold? They know that not everybody's going to do it. Same thing here. They're not going to do it. So really, in a sense, it is just like trading baseball cards if you're buying ETFs in some sense. But it's just based off, I would say that when you buy an ETF, you're just basing it off the price of silver, not the physical silver itself. Since the CME opened Pandora's box in late March, delivery demands for Comex Gold have exploded to all-time records, and that is interesting to hear. Making good on those deliveries. Since immemorial, the volume of deliveries for gold off the Comex has averaged below 10,000 contracts a month for less than 1 million ounces. And here's the handy chart that was done by Gold Charts R Us, the Comex warehouse gold deliveries, and we can see the daily contracts. But here is really where you can see the total contracts, and then the deliverables here. We can see that line is sort of the average or slightly above average. But look at the explosion in the last 3 months there that they've reported this. And the total deliveries for the most recent delivery months of April, June, and August, specifically those months totaled 31,666 contracts delivered for 30.166 million ounces. In June, 55,102 contracts for 5,510,200 ounces. Where's July here? Did they talk about July? Where did July's numbers go? But August, though, so far, is 48,785 contracts for 4.87 million ounces there. Those 3 months alone totaled 13,555,200 ounces, or about 422 metric tons. That's about half of the, no, I guess, yeah, that's more than many nations have in their strategic reserves. The Comex delivered more gold over just the past 3 delivery months than they did during the entire period of 2016 to 2019. That is a statement that is jaw-dropping there. The Comex delivered more gold over just those past 3 delivery months than it did the entire period from 2016 to 2019. Now, this extreme delivery demand is creeping over onto the Comex silver as well, where the long-term average delivery month totals less than 4,000 contracts or less than 20 million ounces. Delivery demand for Comex silver surged in May and then exploded to 17,294 contracts for 86.4 million ounces. Wow. Look at that dip, though, right there. That's really interesting. But look, you can see that sharp rise there. Fascinating. We will see the extreme delivery demand for Comex silver. Will we see this extreme delivery continue through the next delivery month of September? We'll have to wait and see. But one hint we can review today may shed some light on the subject. It's August 25th, so this article is a couple days old. We have available the total Comex open interest numbers as of yesterday, Monday the 24th. The September 20 Comex silver contract goes off the board and into delivery at the Comex close this coming Friday the 28th. That's the day this video is posted. So where does Sep 20th open interest stand at present, and how does this compare to the same dates in April and June? Well, Thursday, April 23rd, there were 33,192 May 20 contracts still open. Eventually, a total of 10,543 contracts remained open when the contract went off the board, and a total of 9,044 deliveries were made for May of 45.2 million ounces of silver. That's more than 5% of total annualized global mine supply. Then on June 23rd, there are 48,323 July 20 contracts still open. Eventually, a total of 16,834 contracts remained open when the contract went off the board, and a total of 17,294 deliveries were made in July for 86.47 million ounces of silver. That's more than 10% of total annualized supply. If you're keeping count, those 2 months alone account for 15%. So Monday, August 24th, there were 49,647 September 20th silver contracts still open. That's going to be a lot of silver. Thus, we can deduce the total delivery demand for Comex silver in September are on track to meet or exceed what was seen in July. Could we see upwards of 90 million ounces of silver delivered over the next 30 days? Yes, we sure could. What will this mean? Again, not likely the end of the Comex and their digital delivery pricing scheme. However, maybe we'll move a few steps closer to the end, and that's what we're all anxiously awaiting. Finally, this could be reflected in the price next month. As you can see below, the recent pattern since Pandora's box is open has been price up during the delivery month and then flat the following month. Wow, yes indeed. So be prepared for busy month of September in terms of both price and activity within the Comex vaults. The CME Group changed their dynamic of their precious metal pricing scheme back in March, and the ramifications of this decision will continue to be felt in the days and weeks ahead. Very interesting. Yes, it's that tells us there's being strain on these deliverables out there, and if people want to get these delivered, or more people want to get the physical to back up the paper, we shall see, like they are doing for gold. Fascinating indeed. We'll see there. It comes in waves. Gold first, then silver, and yes, and silver typically is more volatile, which means that when it goes up, it really goes up, and it outperforms gold in those price movements. It outperforms gold, and when it goes down, it underperforms gold. So we'll see how this plays out. Again, this is coming from essentially a precious metals dealer, Sprott Money. So keep that in mind as you digest these data. But keep in mind, these are numbers that they're supplying to us that they've researched in one way or the other. And so we can either spend the time to try to go back and either confirm or to quantify or qualify these numbers. But nonetheless, there it is. So I think there's a potential that we could have 90 million ounces of silver as deliverables to the Comex in September. Post your thoughts below. Thanks again to Bama17 and C for sending this along to me. These Comex, and this is a world that it's really kind of a mystery for a lot of people as to how that world works out. Me, I'm a physical guy. I like to hold the metal in my hand and kind of look at the prices and the prices compared to what we pay for at a bullion dealer. That's kind of where I'm at. But nonetheless, make no mistake, there's a lot of activity happening on the digital side as well. And some in the digital side want to see proof that they got the silver to back up the goods for the paper. Post your thoughts below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.